Hello students, today we are going to start with our next chapter, that is laws of motion. In this, our first topic is contact and non-contact forces. Before moving on to this topic, let us first talk about the effect of force. Means what a force can do. So the first effect that a force can make is it can change the state of motion. It can change the state of motion. State of motion means, let us say that if some object is lying here, so if I push it, so then it will start moving. So means if some object is at rest, then a force can bring this object in motion. Or let us say that some object is moving like this, and if I exert a force from the opposite direction, then it may stop. Or let us say that some vehicle or some bicycle is moving on the road, and if I pull it backwards, so that cycle may stop. Or third is, if I'm saying that some object is moving like this, and if I apply some force in this direction, then the object start moving in the other direction. Means, so it may change the direction of motion. So first effect that we can say is, so it can change the state of motion. State of motion means a body at rest on application of force may start moving, or a moving body on application of opposite force, means if I pull it, then it may stop. Or if some object is moving in a straight line, and I apply some force in some other direction, then it may change the direction of motion can be changed. So for this we have seen so many examples. While playing badminton, we can say, so if some player hit the cock from one side, then the other player hit the cock from the other side and it start moving in the opposite direction. Or if some object is moving like this, and if I pull it from one side, then it may start moving in this direction. So there are so many examples, we are already familiar with all these things. The second effect that the force can make is it can change the shape, or we can say size of the object. Means the dimensions of the object may change. Dimension means its length, breadth or height may change. Dimensions can be changed. For example, let us say that I have this eraser with me, and if I compress it, then it gets reduced in its size. So this type of effect. Some other thing is, so on some solid body, if I'm pressing it, then I may not be able to press it. So it may change the shape or size of the non-rigid bodies. So this force can change the shape or size of the body. Similarly, while filling air in the football, so if I keep on pushing the pump downwards, then air may get filled into the football and it expands. So there are also many examples based on this. So now what is a force? So force is something, or it is the cause which changes, or which can change the state of motion. So which changes the state of motion, or which may also tend to change the size. So 10 means it can try to change the size or shape of the object. So the force is that cause or that physical cause which changes the state of motion, or which at least tries to change the shape or size of the object, or which may also try to change the state of motion. So now in the kind of these forces, we have two types of forces. Now we have two types of forces. So the two categories are contact forces and non-contact forces. So now I'm going to talk about contact force. So contact forces are those forces which are applied on the bodies by making a physical contact. So the force applied by making physical contact with the body. So in this, the first force, that contact force that we will be talking about, is called as a frictional force or force of friction. For this, let us say that some object is lying here, and now whenever I try to push it, then this object exerts some force in the opposite direction. So that force is called as the frictional force, and that force will act at the surface of contact. So means when somebody tends to move on a surface, then the body will also exert a force in the direction opposite to that of the motion. So that motion or that force is called as a frictional force. So let us say that I have some table like this, and if some object is lying here, then if I am pushing it in this direction, then at the surface or at the point of contact or at the surface of contact, this body will try to oppose the motion. So that force will act in the opposite direction. So this force will act in the opposite direction of motion. So the force of friction will act in this direction along the surface. So this is friction, and this is the push or the applied force. So this is the direction in which the force is applied, or the body will tend to move in this direction. So means this force of friction will try to resist the motion. So this force tries to resist the motion of the body. Now the second contact force is normal reaction, that is called as normal reaction force. For this, let us say that now I keep some object on my palm. So now this object will exert some force in the downward direction. So for the time being, I'm taking a very light object, but if it is something heavier, then to keep my palm stable at this position, I will have to apply some force in the upward direction so that this palm is stable. So to keep this palm stable, I will have to apply that much force in the upward direction, that will be equal to the weight of the body. So means now if I'm keeping this object on my palm, then this is exerting downward force that is equal to its weight, and to keep my palm stable, I will have to apply the force that is equal to the weight of this object in the upward direction. So that upward force that is applied is called as a normal reaction. Means, so in this picture, let us say that now I'm saying that this object is lying on the surface of the table, and if it is not in motion, then the weight of the body is acting in the downward direction. So in this direction, its weight is acting, but since this body is in at rest, and then to keep the body at its position, normal reaction will act. So this upward force is called as a normal reaction. So reaction will act in the upward direction. So this normal action is equal to the, this is equal to the weight of the body, but it will be in the upward direction. Now the third force, that is the tension in string. So let us say that tension in string means if I hang something or some weight, if I hang by using a string, then the weight of this object will act in this downward direction, and to balance this thread will apply a force opposite to the direction of the weight, means the tension will act in this direction in the string. Now no doubt this tension will be equal to the, once again, weight, but it will act in the opposite direction if this body is in equilibrium, means this is not in motion. So at this position the tension in the string will be equal to the weight. Or this can be checked if I cut it from here. If I cut the string from here, then we can definitely see that this string will move slightly upwards. So this is called as a tension in the string. Next force, or the contact force, is force exerted by a spring. So you might have seen some springs, that is this type of structure. Let us say that in normal condition I have a spring like this, or if I fix it from one end, let us say that this is the fixed end now. Now if I pull it in this direction, if I apply some force in this direction, and let us say that this string is touched like this, then this spring will continuously try to come to its initial shape, its exact shape before the pull. So this will continuously apply some force in this direction. So that is called as a restoring force. Restoring force. So means this restoring force will act in the direction opposite to the applied force. Or let us say that I compress this spring. So if I compress this spring by applying some force in this direction, so this is the direction of the applied force, then the restoring force will act in the opposite direction. So restoring force will be in this direction, opposite direction. So means the spring always exerts opposite force to the applied force to retain its original shape. So this restoring force is to retain its original shape, and it always acts opposite to the direction of applied force. And no doubt this force, the restoring force, is directly proportional to the change in length. Change in length or change in displacement, we will say now. So we have to remember this also. Means if the change in the length is more, then the force will be more in magnitude. Or if I am changing the length by small amount, then this change will be very small. And the next force of contact that we have to talk about is the force during collision. Force during collision. So for this, let us say that if these two bodies come towards each other, then have a look at this. Once again I am showing this, so have a look. So the bodies move, in the opposite direction on collision. So the reason for this is, once again, when, let us say that now this is one body A, and this is another body B. If they are moving towards each other and they collide like this, then this body will apply some force in this direction. So let us say that that force is F, force on B, and this is due to A, and this body will apply force on this. So this force in this direction will be force on A due to B, and so due to these two forces, the bodies will change their direction. So A will start moving in the opposite direction, and B will also start moving in the opposite direction. For this, if they are of the comparable masses at least. So this type of forces are called as the contact forces. Now we have to talk about the non-contact forces. So non-contact forces are where we do not need any contact, or where contact is not there between the bodies. So now we have to talk about non-contact forces. So here there is no physical contact. For example, gravitational force. Gravitational force. So gravitational force is a force by which the masses in the universe are attracted towards each other. For example, let us say that I have this pen in my hand, and if I release this from some height, so it will move towards the ground or towards the table. So this is due to the gravitational attraction between this object and the ground. So here the earth is not applying any contact, or here there is no contact between the earth and this object, but still it is moving towards the earth due to the gravitational force. So this is the first non-contact force. The second non-contact force is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force means the force between charges. The force between charges. I think you already know this. The like charges repel each other, and unlike charges attract. But in this case also there will be no contact between the charges, but still they will attract each other. So this force, sometimes we have seen also, if we rub some scale with our hair and we bring it closer to or towards the paper, then that paper may get attracted towards the scale. And the third non-contact force that we have already, or many of us are already familiar, that is magnetic force. So magnetic force we have already, or many of you might have seen, if I have some magnet in my hand, so then the iron pieces will get attracted towards that. So means if I have a magnet and iron piece, then these iron piece may get attracted towards the magnet without contact, so they will come closer. Or we have also seen that in a magnet there are two poles, means in a magnet one is north pole and one is south pole, and here also the poles, in the case of poles, like poles will repel, means if I somehow I bring north of two magnets closer, so they will repel each other, and if I bring north closer to the south, then they will attract each other. So these are the examples of non-contact forces. Now the characteristics of non-contact forces. So here this gravitational force, this is always attractive, this is always attractive, but electrostatic and magnetic forces both are attractive or repulsive, also depending upon the objects or depending upon the charges or depending upon the poles. So these may be attractive or repulsive also. So attractive in the case of gravitational force and repulsive, or attractive or repulsive both in the case of electrostatic and magnetic force. And these forces depends upon the distance, they depends on the distance. Means if the distance between the two charges or the two poles increases, the force will also decrease. And mostly these forces are inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two bodies. So they follow the inverse square law. Means if I am saying that these are two charges, let us say that this is q1 and this is q2. These are two charges or point charges and they are separated by distance r. Then the force of attraction between these two, that force will be inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Means if this r is increased to 2r, then the force will reduce by 4 times. If r is changed to 2r, then force will decrease by 4 times. So no need of going in so much detail, but we have to remember that these forces may be attractive, may be repulsive, or they depend upon the distance and also upon the medium also. So with this, I hope that you can complete your first exercise. Thank you. Have a nice day.